Shorty, I wanna ride. Shorty, I wanna ride.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, take a ride in the spaceship. Watch me slide in the glide as I ride on the spaceship.
Shorty, I wanna ride. Shorty, I wanna ride.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, watch me ride in the spaceship. Yeah. Watch me slide as I glide as I ride in the space.
You keep the ledger, nothing ever fresher. Find me dipping old school, candy paint is pressure. I do it to the letter, little baby sweet as nectar. With the flavor that's tailor-made from the ancestors. And baby, it's whatever, I'm moving in the stellar. I thank the Lord cause real niggas, we gon' live forever. I'm on a different level, I mean a different level. It's something special how we slide in the holy vessel. And yeah, it's presidential, no this is not a rental. We came a long way from broken oats and porcelain. No need for incidentals, the Lord provided simple. So I was told to buy a sword, so I keep a pistol. And you can get your issue, this ain't no tough talk. I make it clear, baby, I walk it how I talk. And yeah, Kwame been the boss, as I'm dipped in the sauce, while I ride in the spaceship.
Shorty, I wanna ride. Shorty, I wanna ride.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, take a ride in the spaceship. Watch me slide in the glide as I ride on the spaceship.
Shorty, I wanna ride. Shorty, I wanna ride.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, watch me ride in the spaceship. Watch me slide as I glide as I ride in the space.
Window down so you know it's me. Knocking pictures off the wall when I swing down on any street. Fifth wheel showing naked ass, chrome gal parked on that wet paint. Boy, that's a super freak. It's the Tejano Poppy, can't clock me. Hater blockers on designer label say Versace. Rolls out of Compton Daniel sons to Miyagi. I be on my player shit, one West, they be hating, yeah. Trying to throw salt in the game, but ain't no sweating it. I be on my grind, if it's mine, yeah, I'm taking it. Vibe so authentic when she with you, yeah, she faking it. I'ma bump her down and move around and make space for it. So boomerang as I slide in, do my thing. Water tie, set a table, I'm speaking booty tang. Sidestepping out scallywags, cause that cootie tang. Tricks is for kids, and my name ain't David Blaine. I'm a moonwalk like Michael, stop playing shorty, cause these other niggas just remain. Ow.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, take a ride in the spaceship. Watch me slide in the glide as I ride on the spaceship.
Shorty, I wanna ride. Shorty, I wanna ride.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, watch me ride in the spaceship. Watch me slide as I glide as I ride in the spaceship.
Alright, shalom, y'all Bashim Ashabakata. To the brothers, y'all Shamal Athan Bashim Yahshua to the sisters. If I could, if you could hear me pretty clear, put a one in the chat or just say "con" either or suffice. Before I get started or go into any depth of anything concerning the class. Let's see something. You can hear me? Okay, Most High in Christ. And that confirmed what I needed. All right. So, if I could let me get let me get Deuteronomy. Let's see. Let me see where I want to start at. Maybe confirm it because it's a few points I want to hit on. It will be most definitely in Deuteronomy 28. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna start at Deuteronomy 28th chapter at verse 1. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, as the title of the class, you know what I'm saying, states, there's a question that a lot of our people in that ain't in this school tend to ask. Even some of our people in the school, they ask, what is Black history? All right. Now, of course, before we came into school, before we started coming to class, we was deep in the world. Okay. So we all been to public schools. Some of us been to private schools. I don't know what the curriculum is as far like when it comes to like Black history in the American sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's taught, but I know in public schools, the history class always revolved around Christopher Columbus discovering America and Black people somehow along the way with a huge gray area, long years, just out of nowhere, boom, slavery, right? So the American history is so flawed because that's all they're gonna teach. They're gonna teach everybody that one America was justly discovered. They're gonna teach you that, and then they're gonna also go back at some point in time in their history curriculum in these public schools. And like I said, I don't know how private schools work. All right, but just as a quick, just a quick bonus, I say a quick bonus piece of information. A lot of people wouldn't even know that when you homeschool your children, the state requires you to teach the same curriculum as your local public schools. So in a lot of cases, they will want you to teach the same vague and blotchy, you know what I'm saying, pieces of the history of Black history, right? And Native Indian history. And I like to include Mexican history, Native Indian history. I'm pretty sure a lot of everybody don't really get why I just be like the Native Indian history. Like, what about the Mex? Yeah, okay, at some point in time, America was literally ran by Issachar and other Hispanic tribes alongside Gad, alongside Reuben. Anything concerning the entire piece of land that is called America today includes them. It's all nipped in one bud. So I would say native. I would say native. You get what I'm saying? I would say like native history, right? So the reason why I'm asking what is Black history is because I'm aware we all was taught something different. Like for example, me personally, I was taught that I was taught off the rip, like growing up in Nashville. Our history started off with us being in slavery, and anytime we asked why we were in slavery, they never gave us an answer. They were just making it seem like we came in, we were brought up in slavery, and we, you know, pioneered and fought. for fought like in the movie, and like how they make it seem in the movie, like we fought in a motivational sense for equality that we still somehow didn't get along the way. But that's what was taught to me. They just instantly started off we in chains. That was like that's what my upbringing. I don't know how it was with other brothers. I'm like it could be different because I went to schools such as Tom Joy, Amqui, Glenn, and what's it, Graymar and John Early. Though like that's me from elementary all the way up to middle school. All high school did was they give you that same stuff, but then they'll tell you write in your own words. That's their own way of saying they don't have a set curriculum because they know you too old to be lied to. That's the only way of doing that, right? And I remember, right there, like I was 17 when I first heard about the ISUPK. So when I heard it, I was like, dang. So it was more than just chains and whips. And I took some of that same knowledge. I wrote it down and put what slavery was in my own words. Even though it was what they would consider controversial, the teacher made sure they gave me 100 on that, but they never let it make it to like up higher above the board, like to the principal, because they know that they would have got in trouble for me throwing in some of the truth that I learned while I was in the world. You know they could get in trouble for stuff like that. You tell them that you writing on your paper literally that white people are evil and they don't and they don't have a ounce of sympathy and all of that. You get in trouble for that. See, and that's the thing about it because now we're at a time in the day and age where they're trying to get rid of Black history and go back and teach that slavery didn't harm Black people. Slavery taught Black people numerous amounts of trades. That's what they're trying to go for right now. Now, say they are successful. The only way to actually find out about true Black history will only be in the ISUPK. You're not gonna find it in the IUIC because they love white supremacy. They rely on white supremacy at a very heavy manner, in a very heavy fashion, and other groups as well. Because we have the truth. You know how we operate. Well, not for the most part. You got to be in here to actually see it. But they know we legit though. You know what I'm saying? And they're not finna teach the same history. What they're gonna do at some point in time, they're gonna get in line with everybody else. It's gonna come a time. The only way to find Black history in Native history is strictly in the ISUPK. Because prior to me learning about the truth, I at some point in time accepted, oh, we were just slaves. I mean, like at some point in time, I stopped questioning what were we doing before slavery. You know what I'm saying? At some point, and all of us did it. All of us went through it. You know what I'm saying? But then when you come in the truth, you learn you was in slavery way before you was in slavery in America. Like one of the first time we was in slavery was all in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. And this is and they'll tell you that everybody everybody that's black are strong people for going through that hardship. They always used to make sure they call it a hardship. They never called it for what it is. It is plain, unfiltered, blatant oppression. That's it. You get what I'm saying? Now, the Bible itself will tell you how we got in there. So those same questions that I used to ask that never got answered, and all of us, like we used to do it being group, we used to whisper like, "Oh, who gonna ask? Who gonna ask?" We used to do that in class, and then I just be the dummy to go ahead and do it. Okay, so how we get in slavery? I ain't get in trouble for it, and I still wouldn't even get an answer. They would like the teacher pull you to the side, like we gonna talk after class. Okay, if I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, they probably can tell me something, and that I probably shouldn't have asked in front of everybody because we had Caucasian students because it's a public school. We had Caucasian students in the class with us and whatever. And no, it is flat out this is what you're supposed to be learning. This what has to be learned. Don't disrupt the class again, or you will be suspended. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't never nothing other than that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, did you have like a similar experience or nah, not really? Go ahead.
I went Catholic school went up until third grade. So I was in private school for a time, but then the rest of my education was public school, and I learned uh just flat out that we started in slavery. Like essentially, black people just started out as slaves.
Right.
The only thing that I would add is that my experience, I was like one of the only black kids
Mm.
in the school, in the classroom, because I grew up on the beach. You know what I mean? So like I'm learning all this stuff and seeing all these crazy pictures and reading all these crazy paragraphs and popcorn reading and all this, and all these white people looking at me as we learn this, and so that was the thing. Um, but also my dad um was a really big he is a really big reggae fan. He had a lot of like reggae CDs, and I remember I think it was a Bob Marley CD, man. I'm not sure, but there was an image of like a slave ship with all the different little bodies, like stick figure bodies in there. It was kind of symbolizing the Middle Passage. And
Right.
as a child, I asked him like, like, what's this about, And he told me, this is the Middle Passage. This is how we got from Africa to the Caribbean and the United States through slavery. And I mean, also in the music, if you listen, there's little sprinkles that say that we're Israelite here and there, but it's not enough to be a conclusive, breadcrumb trail to get you through everything else. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's not near as literal as what we teach in the ISUPK.
Mm. You see? And then that's what I'm saying. And so basically you didn't really know legit
Um,
black history until you came in the truth.
they teach you more about like what we did in recent days, like what
Right.
we invented, what we struggled through, and the kind of stuff that can't be denied because those elders are still alive. The
Right.
descendants of those people are still here to tell those stories, so you can't silence everybody. But in
Right.
terms of what happened before slavery and colonization and all that,
Right. Okay, so I don't have the book with me right now, but this it's a book that everybody should be able to get a PDF to called From Babylon to Timbuktu. Now, granted, we do have history before Babylonian captivity as well, but that right there, you read that, you're gonna see the word African a lot. Those are not Africans; those are Negroes that they're talking about in the book. All right, and then beforehand, there is a very important book that everybody should try to get a hold of. It's called Russian Icons. Russian Icons is a very good book because it walks through, well, it basically debunks the whole Renaissance era. It debunks it because everybody believed the Renaissance era. Well, a lot of people believe the Renaissance era is like a time where you were able to put real life events into drawing, but really it was the remaking of what really was. Because the second you turn Jesus from a black man, so-called Jesus from a black man to a Caucasian man, that's the remaking of what is. And that's all the Renaissance era was. They were literally re-innovating history. Or what's another word? It's
plagiarism.
plagiarizing. That's a good one. But it's like a little fancy word. Like they were remodeling history. that's That's what it is. They were remodeling history, not reinnovating, but remodeling history. You know what I'm saying? And is that is actually something you got to actually be mindful of as well. And we also have a book, if I could, Baba Kashai, it's if you could real quick, it's a red bag in the camp equipment room. It has a light blue book. All right. While the brother get that book, young man Shaq, if you could hear me, if I could, what was Black History like? What did they teach you in history class back, like growing up in, like, middle, whether it be middle school, high school, elementary? What did they teach you as far as like where you started off, or why people started off, or what was it like for Black people? Like, cause myself and the young man was we had the pretty much a similar answer, the very same answer, and they just instantly popped Black History out with slavery. They started it off with slavery. They didn't start it off with anything else other than slavery, right? I wonder if you had that exact same thing happen to you, because I'm like, they want it set up to where, and we just all the way lost. It's a reason for that, because how come Caucasian folk have their history, and they could track it all the way back to when they was in caves, and you know Asians similar, Most High in Christ, the slim one. This is a very good book right here. The Truth I Never Learned in the Christian Church, right here. This is a very good book. This is written by a brother in the school. He did a deep dive in research, right? So this also is going to be added to our class. I thought I had the PDF file on my phone, but I didn't. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's always good to be prepared in this sense. I wouldn't be better than me. All right. But also learn from your mistakes. All right. So we finna go back to who wrote the Bible. That's the first question, right? Okay. It says one of the well, you want to read it for me? All right. We're gonna do it like that, but I want you to make sure you get your notes down first too, though. So whenever you need to stop and take a note, go ahead and do so. I won't fault you for it, because we're gonna learn some Black history today. All right. All that Black History Month, that's crud. The whole Black History Month, ain't nobody learn nothing other than the same usual. Black people invented peanut butter. Black people invented the cell phone. Black people just, that's it. A little bit of slavery here and here. Nat Turner got ate by a group of white folk. It's the same thing every year. We need to go deeper, further than that. All right. So what the brother is reading is called The Truth the Christian Church Never Taught Me. Right. So that specific book got so much history in it. So, brother, if I could, when you read loud, that way the mic catch it. I'm turn it towards your way.
Come. Should I start at chapter one?
Go ahead.
Come, chapter one. Who wrote the Bible? One of the major misconceptions people have about the Bible is who wrote it. The Christian church does not know or understand the Bible. To Christians, the Bible is full of fairy tales, and they are not sure what parts to believe or not to believe. Christians cannot distinguish which scriptures are allegories, visions, or reality. The Bible is not a fairy tale, but a book written by men who were inspired by the Most High. People who do not believe in the Bible will try to prove Moses did not write the first five books.
No, stop right there. You heard that, right? It's it said they were if people would try to prove Moses didn't write the first five books, right? It's a scripture. I'm gonna put it and read it myself, right? That way you can hold your place a little better, right? All right. Oh, oh, I, hold on. So lucky. Okay, there we go. In First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21, it reads, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good." So, in this book that this brother is reading, it said that they would try to prove that Moses didn't write the first five books, right? That's what it said right there, right?
Oh, God.
All right. So the scriptures say prove all things. Now, the reason why they try to well, just a quick touch on the reason why they try to prove this is because they want to prove that the so-called white man or white supremacists wrote the Bible as a tool to control everybody. It's a reason why that narrative in there is being pushed. It's only to get you from believing in the Bible as an active history book. You get what I'm saying?
Well, if I could, something that's interesting about that is, I read KJ. I'm reading KJ Verified by Captain Kataza.
Yeah, that's a
And so
very beautiful book.
I know that King James didn't write the King James Bible; he just authorized the translation. So now, when I hear Christians trying to say that it's the Bible's um
Mm.
written by a white man, that being King James and all that, I'm like, you know, you're slick right, but also slick wrong. Because he did authorize the translation, but he didn't write it.
Exactly.
For him wrote it.
Exactly. That's
And so you're right, but you're wrong.
exactly.
If he didn't write it, and if Moses didn't write it,
Exactly. They had to, and the crazy part is things were written on old stone relics. They got translated. That's why the brother is saying when people say that they right but they wrong. You get what I'm saying? Now everything has to be absolute. So we got to figure out what's all the way right. And that comes with studying in real life history. Now, before I have you read more, the brother Young man Shaq said, question, they got everything about history in museums. Why not ships? Why no ships? He said, and then the brother also said roots in a nutshell. Exactly. That's basically what they taught all of us in middle and elementary, middle, and high school. Just roots. Everybody seen the show. It's to me it's trash. Because they could have did way better than that. All right. So keep reading, brother.
Come on. People who do not believe in the Bible will try to prove Moses did not write the first five books, or Paul did not write the books in the New Testament. They will look for any evidence that can discredit the Bible. These people have not learned the truth, which is only found in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge.
Let me stop right there. They try to find things. They're trying to dig up evidence that's not even there to discredit the Bible. Now, why are they trying to discredit the Bible? Because, like in John 8 and 44, it says that you know what I'm saying, there is no truth in them. They don't want to believe in the truth because they don't even have an ounce of truth in them. Now, who took that truth away from them? Your oppressor, white supremacy did. Asian supremacy did. We got sold everywhere. Russian supremacy did, which is also white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Hamite supremacy, like African supremacy, all these different forms of supremacies. You know what I'm saying? Philistine supremacy. You know what I'm saying? All of this, all these different forms of supremacies are the reason why there's no truth. They took it from them, like from the jump. Like prior to us coming to the truth, we had no truth in us. We literally thought, breathed, and lied the same way everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? We done lied the same way everybody else did at some point in the time. We done did it. We done stole. We done did it all. You know what I'm saying? Many of us have robbed something. Many of us have sold something. There wasn't no lick of truth in us. There wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Until we came into the truth. And then as we learned, the more and more we learn, we like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we call them milk scriptures when we hit y'all with the scripture that like just to walk out through things. Because when you come in truth and your mind is anew, it's no different than the baby, right? Like my daughter's on formula. She can't eat meat right now. She's gonna choke.
Uh,
She's not gonna know how to actually handle that. You know what I'm saying? But what she can handle is milk. So when you come in here, there's a reason why we got this thing called milk scriptures. We really teach you like bit by bit the right thing. That because in the world they just hit us with meat wads of straight lies. And look what we did with that. We took it and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? We just took it and ran with it and said that's truth. We didn't have no truth in us. All right. That's why they looking to discredit the Bible. Because if they can't discredit it, they gotta live with the fact that everything they did is wrong. The way they think is wrong. What them Israelite niggas talk about on their corner has been nothing farther from the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is. They want to make sure that what like they could discredit us. Like the reason why they try to discredit the Bible is because we teaching the Bible on the corners in class. That's why they want to discredit it, because we teaching it and we're more knowledgeable than them in that same book they use to justify touching kids, justify pimping, justify sleep with other men's women, justifying women in they financial dating situation because they date financially. They don't date spiritually.
uh,
You know what I'm saying? They date but the reason why they do that is because you know what I'm saying. That was taught. A lot of people don't know that. Before I had a brother read, a lot of people don't know that the Christian doctrine within the black churches, think of those as like orders of what they have to teach, and those come directly from white supremacists or white so-called white churches. That's literally where it comes from. They're teaching you what white supremacy wants to be taught. All right, so you got to acknowledge that as well. So go ahead, brother.
Khan. A sinner will say the Bible is not legit because man wrote it. That argument is elementary and often sought by people who want to continue to indulge in their lusts. Of course, man physically wrote the Bible. Men also wrote medical journals, math equations, and engineering schematics.
You hear that? So if we're gonna discredit that, then we can discredit math. And guess what? When your check come up short, you're gonna do the math on it. Are you not?
Right, right.
Right, all right, go ahead.
Khan, which you follow without question. The point is, the Most High does not need to address you personally. The Most High raises up men in rank and order who will serve him and in turn serve the people to lead the people back to him.
All right, let me start it right there. Well, y'all don't realize we haven't even put no scriptures yet, but this right here is just common sense. This right here is just basic common sense. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Read that one more time.
Huh. The point is that the Most High does not need to address you personally.
Right there. Stop right there. That's the part I want to hear. Wanted to be heard again. If the Most High literally was to deal with everybody directly, do y'all not know that people would not believe in God because of the certain lust that everybody tend to have and they act on? For example, if every Christian believes God dealt with them directly, a Christian will literally take your money for tithes after you make a big donation with your life savings, and then they're gonna say, God told me to accept your money, your life savings, but he also told me to kick you out of this church. They every time a Christian do something messed up, they always say God told them to do it. This is why God don't deal with nobody directly. He's not obligated to deal with everybody directly. He's only obligated to deal with the people who the highest ranked men that are set above the people who follow directly after Christ. The only people that does that is the ISUPK. Right now, he's dealing with Commander Junior Hunter. That's the appointed man. If he is not, is nobody in the room, but us following Commander Junior Hunter mean we following Christ, mean we following the Most High. You get what I'm saying? Now, what if everybody was being was dealing with God directly? What would they do? We see it every day. Christian churches really rack in the least paid church literally brings in $3 million a year. That's the least paid church, the one that little broke down on your street. They pulling in $3 million. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because they claim that God is dealing with them directly, which we know they're not. Because they're finna go, you know what I'm saying, do what for the owner of the 49ers just got caught doing. Go spend money on some whore for $140. That's what he's gonna do. Or he might just woo for free and say, I pay you with the wisdom of the Lord. And he ain't even he ain't even using the wisdom of the Lord. That's why it's important to know that God does not deal with everybody directly. He's not that voice in your head that tell you to do something crazy. That's not the Lord telling you to go do that crazy thing. That's Satan. That's all that is. That's you. That's the messed up version of you telling you to go do that messed up thing. Satan talks to you in your own voice. That's why you can't pinpoint if it's Satan or not. That's why you got to be able to read this Bible, learn this truth, to be able to make the discernment on, okay, this right here got to be Satan telling me to do this, because God wouldn't ever ask me or ever tell me or ever manipulate me to go and rob somebody. Okay. So yeah, go ahead, keep reading.
Come. The Most High raises up men in rank and order who will serve him, and in turn serve the people to lead the people back to him. The supreme being of the universe is not going to come down off his throne to speak to each individual sinner. In fact, contrary to the Christian belief, the Most High does not hear the prayers of sinners. John 9 and 31, John chapter 9, verse 31 says, Now we know that God heareth not the sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth. As Israelites, we have always had great difficulty with following our God. It is no different from the time of Jonah and Christ. Matthew chapter 16, verse 4 says, A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah.
Okay, now let me stop you right there. Like, you see that they be looking for signs. What's that sign? Like two birds. You probably just seen two birds making love, but you probably seen it. Oh, God, send me a sign to do this crazy, do this whatever you finna do. That I'm pretty sure the Lord did not have nothing to do with that. For example, zodiac signs. Women believe that God sent them a good man because the nigga a Capricorn, because the nigga a Taurus. No, that is not a sign from God. That's just you doing things that the oppressor wants you to do. You just basically following after other gods, right? Like when you base the men or the women you just deal with off of zodiac signs, you're worshiping stars, balls of gas, balls of gas, right? So you're gonna blame you being unbrotherly, unsisterly, or being a cheater, or being a whore, or being a brother that just sleep with women and just dump them off somewhere You blaming all that on balls of gas. Think about how dumb that sound. You know what I'm saying? That's not a sign from God. You will know what a sign from God is, but you ain't gonna. The sign from God are living, breathing men that stand on the corner on the weekends teaching the truth. That's your sign right there. That's your sign. It's not the zodiac signs. It's not whatever birds and bees you be like you be seeing, whatever. That's not no sign. You know what I'm saying? That ain't a sign. If you it like the like them what they call them angel numbers, you 444 111 and all that. That is not no sign. Those are just the same numbers being repeated 3 times. There's nothing more, nothing less. All right, all right. Go ahead, keep reading.
Khan. And he left Salaki. Matthew chapter 16, verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and departed. The point of this scripture is Christians are looking for a miracle from God to touch their lives personally, but there will not be a specific sign for you or anyone else. As in the time of Jonah, you have a grace period. Citizens of Nineveh, Salaki, of Nineveh
Yeah.
were given 40 days before receiving the Most High's judgment. God communicates through his prophets. The brothers and the sisters in Nineveh did not wait on a sign from God. They heard the words of the man of God and knew that they had to start following the commandments or be destroyed. The Bible is as real as you and I are, but unfortunately, we view the Bible through the eyes of the people who do not understand it.
Exactly. Now let me stop it right there. So you see, the reason why you don't understand the true history book concerning Black Latinos and Native Indians, so-called Jamaican Trinidadians, so-called Haitians, Puerto Ricans, all these beautiful, spiritual, glorious tribes. The reason why this is going on is because these people that's trying to teach a history book don't know it's a history book. Hold on, let me say one time the microphone was away from me. The reason why don't nobody understand, or the reason why don't nobody believe in the history book, which is the Bible, is because the people that are teaching the history book don't even know it's a history book. Like as he said in the beginning, they believe it's fairy tales and all of that. So when the people who do believe it and they don't know that it's an actual book, an actual history book, they're looking at these fairy tales like they're signs that are going to happen to them. Go ahead.
Salagi, but fluency, what's you're bringing out is super heavy. Gargantuan be over there because when you tie in the phantasm, the magicalness that Christianity likes to throw all over the Bible and scriptures and things, then that's where you get the whole if you believe your heart and soul,
Right.
you too can get the salvation.
Right.
When in fact, no, this is a history book, this is a document, this is a family heirloom for all intents and purposes, for a certain group of people. It's written to them and to nobody else.
Exactly. And you know what? So you wanna know another one of those other magical signs that ain't gonna happen that they lie about. They lie about the rapture. It's one that's not found in the Bible. But look. I got the definition of the rapture right here. How you spell rapture? Rapture, right? All right, rapture. Now, the literal definition says a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. The only way to have a physical feeling of intense pleasure or joy is through an orgasm. They're waiting on a biblical proportion orgasm. That's what It's dumb. That's why you gotta get out of the church. They have you waiting on the. They believe Christ is gonna come back, and is that not the most unholiest thing you ever heard of? They say they waiting on the rapture. The rapture is not in the Bible. I literally got my entire life savings. Boy, I asked everybody in my family for $200. Yeah, I got $200,000 for you if you can find me rapture in the Bible. You're not gonna find it. You're not gonna touch that money. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, instead of paying tax to this school, I pay you my time. If you could find rapture in the Bible, you're not gonna find it. That's how serious it is. Right, that's what I'm saying. They got the word rapture from an old a freaky song. It was a sister back in the day. She used to sing a song. It's literally called rapture. She's talking about feeling. She's talking about the definition that I just looked up. Anybody can look it up. You could go on your phone and look up the definition, not what they say Christians say, or not what they say the Bible says, because that's not what the Bible is saying. If you look up the literal definition for rapture, it's an intent a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. Intense feeling of pleasure or joy. That's it. I'm like, shoot, look, we out on rapture the baby into the world. I mean, like we out on yeah, I mean like what y'all waiting on? They waiting on something that's not never coming. All right. The real salvation is when Christ come back, those angels come back, they destroy all of our oppressors, and they make the entire world follow after God's law, statutes, and commandments. And blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians will be in rulership. That's the real salvation. The people who's in captivity being saved. Salvation is a form of saving. You get what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't need it. If ever okay, but let's make this make sense. If everybody needs to be saved, who they need to be saved from? The only people that need to be saved is black, Latinos, and Native Indians. That's it. And when I say black, I don't just mean Negroes. I literally include Haitians, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, yeah, and Reubenites. A lot of them are very dark skinned. All right, Dominicans, so on and so forth. Right? That's included. You know what I'm saying? Latinos don't just mean a specific tribe. That just mean every Hispanic tribe. All right, go ahead.
Slack, if I could, I just want to say add this for the sake of you know the discourse here. It's not salvation if we get saved alongside our oppressors because now we back in the same boat. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We no longer Quadash like how we supposed to be, how we were supposed to be from jump. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
Slack.
So matter of fact, before the brother read that, I also want to make this just in case you haven't seen what I put out there on the social medias, Instagram. Dang, I sound like an old head, don't I? This something for you to actually think about. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't gonna say if when the apocalypse happen, right? I wonder like do black people not realize like if the apocalypse happened today and we join hand in hand with the same people that oppress us, do they really believe that at some point in time these people would not try to unalive us in our sleep, do the same thing they did to the Native Indians, and take all our resources and try to put it back in slavery and start all over again? Do they really believe that won't happen? That will happen. There's no sign telling you to join hand in hand with white supremacy. What Martin Luther King did was trash. He's the man believed that it was a sign. The sign was he looked at a Caucasian woman and got turned on by her. He was aroused. That was his sign right there. He was ready to have a rapture right then and there. Okay, yeah, okay. The brother said, the brother, young man, yeah, young man Shay, he said, Salakia, can the devil bless you and you mistake it as a blessing from the Most High? Okay, that happens a lot. That is possible for that to happen. For example, all these rappers in the industry, they getting their blessings directly from Satan, and they claim that it's from God Himself. But if that was true, why do they do the most ungodliest things with this same blessing, this same so-called God-given blessing? How did they obtain? How did Jay Z obtain that level of status? By being the most ungodliest brother you could find. How did he do it? Being the most ungodliest brother you could find. Their blessings came from Satan, and how do they maintain it? They keep doing what Satan wants them to do. Literally, in the scriptures, it said that I know it was. I'm paraphrasing, but Christ said he knows about those people that say they're Jews and they're not. You know what I'm saying? They were mentioned as the synagogue of Satan. Who runs the music industry right now? The synagogue of Satan, the fake Jews, the Jewish man. That's the synagogue of Satan is literally running. So that's what I'm saying, and that's why it can be mistaken as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and let's just do it at a lower level for like people who don't got that rapper level money. All right, if if a brother driving down the street and I'm walking to the store, and let's say a pound and a half of weed falls out of his car, out of whatever compartment that's up on his car, and he don't come back for it. If I see that, I'm gonna keep going because I'm aware of the fact if I touch that, that's another blessing from Satan. Satan just gave you the opportunity to do one or two sins, if not both at the same time. You're either gonna sell it, get some money, and then you're gonna say, "The Lord bless me with this." The Lord would never tell you to sell drugs because He in the scripture says, "I suffer a witch not to live." A witch is a drug dealer in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna go get high. The scriptures also talk about that wicked man that diggeth up evil with the fire at the end of his mouth. That would be you smoking that weed that just fell out of there. Satan just blessed you right then and there. So yeah. So when you say the devil, we understand that the white man is the devil. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't just use devil in the sense like the red man and all that. You what you would use is Satan. But yeah, that to answer your question, that would be that is true. That stuff like that will happen to our people. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen to here, but it will happen to our people. Right. Go ahead.
Slocky, if I could, so the scriptures talk about in Job talks about how Satan is essentially an agent of temptation or testing sometimes for the Most High. Like nothing happens that Satan does that the Most High don't know, right? You could also argue that he does it on the Most High's quarters. Right. What I'm asking or what I'm curious about is piggybacking off of young man Shaq's question. Um, could you argue, or could it be argued that, or would you say it's true rather? I know you argued on it. Would you say it's true that the Most High is by way of allowing Satan to work on these men, like the Jay-Z's and the Diddy's and the people of that nature, right? Of that caliber. Could you argue that the Most High is kind of allowing them to be built up, like how he's doing Babylon or Egypt, how he did Egypt in Exodus, so that he could show us what it's like to see these people fall?
That's also gonna happen here.
Uh,
I'm like, they following after their father,
mhm,
who is the devil now.
that, right,
So of course they're gonna follow with him.
right,
They all heard the truth. I'm like, think about it. We got brothers getting views, likes on all social media platforms.
right,
You would be dubbing your own mental, your own brain to even think that they never heard the truth. If Waka Flocka and Neo walked up to us in the club, we didn't know they were gonna be there, but they walked up to us and showed Commander and Hana love. They clearly be watching. So there's no way on earth none of these people that are in their high position financially and whatever in American society, there's no way they never heard the truth. So you know it's a way out, but you're still actively choosing to follow the devil. You know what I'm saying? Follow that white man who was the devil about to speak of. You actively letting Satan trick you out of your spot. You letting Satan prove to the Most High even more why you do not deserve the kingdom of heaven. So the Lord is going to make an example out of them. Yes, that is very true. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, same way the Most High can bless you, Satan can too. Satan gonna tempt you. You gonna look at it as a blessing. Satan looked at it like another test fail. Most High God, I, he was one of them ones. He was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Did they answer your question, young man, Shaq? Or do you need a little more on that? Because his question was, like, can the devil bless you and you make it as a blessing from the most, and you mistake it as a blessing from the Most High? Like I said, rappers do it all the time, and people lower do it. As a matter of fact, my ribs auntie does it. My ribs auntie does it. She got a loan, so she got a real nice house way out, way over yonder in Clarksville, and she talks down on us in the truth, right? And talk about I love the white man. The white man gave me this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And we all know when World War III pop off, her neighbors might kill her if she don't get out of there fast enough. You know what I'm saying? That's some real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? But she rather love them and do whatever since she does on her own time. And she like, well, y'all following God, but a white man blessing me. That's another form of people getting a blessing from the devil. In his words, the devil, and mistaking it as a blessing from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? She think white Jesus because that's what the Christian God is, white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't have a hating bone in their body for them. That's why they would never harm them, and that's why they always take their word as law. You know what I'm saying? That's literally the way they see it. God is surrounding them if they in a neighborhood full of white folks. Go ahead.
Slight not going well. So, could it be said that Hebrews, Jews that are as the scripture would say, a law unto themselves, and they don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments on purpose, but they're also not living a terrible, like a horribly unlawful life? Could it be argued that, if they're in that, that tax bracket where they're just being continuous given things, given opportunity, that they are also being tempted by Satan, and it's just gonna trigger on one thing, like that last stroke of the piece of hay on the camel's back kind of thing to just make everything fall.
Like what you referring to, and you say you referring to like Amalek.
No, I'm
I
referring
mean like,
to like a like okay, so I should say Gentiles, not Jews, but like Gentiles. That's not necessarily practicing Israelite customs and keeping the laws on purpose, but they're Israelites genetically speaking.
okay.
And if they live in that life and they just consistently being given things, blessed, quote unquote, blessed by the devil, with things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Opportunity, industry, what have you. Could it be argued that that is the most high just allowing them to be built up? I guess I'm asking the same question.
Yeah, yeah, you asked the same question.
Stop.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll literally be the same thing no matter how you flip it. You know what I'm saying? Cause like you gotta think, I could receive 100K from Mr. Beast. I'm gonna send him that money back. He could cash out me 100K. I'm gonna send it back because I didn't earn that money righteously.
Good.
That's a blessing I'm not finna take because that blessing didn't come directly from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do it so he could do a video and get our people to trust him even more when he most likely got an underground bunker and he got every means to kill every nigga he see when World War III pop out. You know what I'm saying? He don't give nobody nothing just because, especially no nigga. He's doing it for a reason. I'm not gonna be part of the reason. You get what I'm saying? But you got some of our people that will take it. This is the Lord. Yeah, yeah, such. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go back and do the most ungodliest thing with their 100K. They're gonna change on their family members. And I want 100K. Who got 100K? We all live in the same, and they all live in the same house. You know what I'm saying? They gonna turn cold real quick. And even then, when they do that, guess what it's gonna do? Dull their senses. Now World War III pop off a month later. Well, they did give me 100K. Maybe I should go with them. They will keep us safe. I shouldn't be around my own people because black on black crime and per capita, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to make these distinctions. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're gonna take it thinking that's the best from the Most High, and then you're gonna walk yourself into to their fort where they're gonna use you for meat. If they ate Nat Turner and your president eating babies, and you know somehow, some way, Ellen DeGeneres end up with a cannibal related illness, it's safe to say that these people will eat us if the second they run out of food. You're not there for no reason. They're gonna make you a slave and they're gonna make you food. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the easy way to look at stuff, okay, well, I say about people in the world, okay, who should I be around in the apocalypse? They don't ever think about that. That's what our people in the world fail to realize. How would these people treat me when jail time nothing exists? Cameras ain't gonna save nobody. Nothing's barring them from being themselves. You know what I'm saying? They gotta look at that. So when they accept something from these same people or our people that follow after them, like drug dealers and all that, because a drug dealer front you ounce ain't no different than your local Walgreens front you some Percocets. Because there are plenty, pharmacists out there that will plug in people in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They will do it. They will do it. I know. I seen it. They will do it. You know what I'm saying? That's not a blessing. All right. Now, what is a blessing is you following the law, statutes, and commandment. You tune in the class. You go to camp. And sometimes you don't go to camp because the white man the devil. You still make sure you put your best foot forward to be involved with this truth somehow, some way. And your life gets easier. You get a new house. You out of this bad neighborhood. You're homeless. You're not homeless no more, or like you able to like go and shop and spend every so often whenever you want to, and it ain't gotta be because it ain't. I noticed, when we know when brothers be down to earth, brothers should be down to earth. They don't want Bottega bags, Birkin bags. I'll be cool with an Aeropostale shirt, some cowboy boots, and a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you could buy one like a couple dresses or something, and like like a just a regular bag, like a Vera Bradley or something. regular bag, and it'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's how down to earth we is. It's when it's at a point you can get those things, or even better, you able to get out of your hardship, and now you're able to see somebody that's in a hard spot. You're able to chuck them like 20, 30, 40, maybe $50 or something, even if it's five. You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing. You, if the Lord use you to bless that person, because you earned that money righteously by working a regular job, staying out of trouble, or you know you got your entrepreneurship, but you're not doing nothing wrong for it. You're not, you know what I'm saying, just out here like I'm out here selling coke and I got 100 band. I'm finna just give this one person like $200. This home for $200. You know what I'm saying? And now those other homeless people, they seen that the same man that they sell dope for them just gave you some money. What you think they finna do to you? The second you pull out.
Uh,
Exactly. And who you think they gonna go back and spend to and give it back to? You know what I'm saying? That ain't no righteous earning. You know what I'm saying? You got only people that'll go back and steal somebody's washer and dryer and bring it to you and sell it to you for a low so they go get high. I'm not finna buy that. You got that unrighteously. I'm not finna do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a blessing. So you gotta always look at these things from even whether it's rich or even on the lower half of things. You know what I'm saying? I always know the difference. All right. Keep reading. Dang, I'm all the way out. I don't, I don't, I don't walk this class for an hour. Well, yeah, I know y'all ask me quick, and I'm able to answer.
Sorry, Christ. What?
I know I give you more answers than your old history teacher.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? The people that were at high school or middle school y'all went to, I bet y'all give you more answers than them.
uh,
Even if it ain't even on top. Shoot, I still give you the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Christ. All right. So, have you ever heard of a scribe? To understand who wrote the Bible, you must understand that men in power during that time did not necessarily write things themselves. Similar to men in power today, the prophets had scribes who chronicled the events that unfolded during biblical times. There were no printing presses, World Wide Web, or major publishing companies during those times. During those times. So a scribe's job was to keep records. One type of modern day scribe is a stenographer. A stenographer captures the proceedings of a court case. At any point, you can you can reference the stenographer's notes and understand what was said. You never need to see a CEO, Salakia, you never see a CEO taking notes during a company's meetings, or the president of a country with his BlackBerry in his hand, jotting down questions from the media. Modern day men in power have someone who will capture meeting minutes, questions, suggestions, and topics to revisit. The prophets were also men of importance and thus were not necessarily relegated to document events themselves. Scribes were not just note takers. Scribes were usually learned men or men learning the law under a prophet. Many times, even some of the prophets were scribes prior to becoming prophets. As an example, Salaki. An example is Ezra. In Ezra chapter 7, verse 6, this Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him.
All right, so let me stop you right there. So as y'all can see, scribes Literally, their whole job was they see it, they literally write out what literally just happened in front of them, actively witnessing this and putting it down and did it for record, not for a story, but for record. That's their whole job. That's what it was. So every prophet mentioned in the Bible was really here, and there was somebody there with them, was seeing all of this unfold, everything. So at some point in time, there were people that seen Christ walking around and he was black and doing crazy things, miracles. They witnessed Romans who are white supremacists, Caucasian people, unaliving a black man named Christ. You get what I'm saying? But these are all these records in the Bible were hunted down. You know what I'm saying? They were hunted down. They was either wrote down or it was carved into something. You know what I'm saying? Either way it go, it was written in our language, and at some point in time, it got translated. And then they was also able to dig up times where scribes left behind things or left behind information, the information that was taken, those things that they had on record, those records, they found them in everywhere we was in captivity at. I mean, like, so there, right there, is the debunk the whole. Yeah, white supremacy wrote that Bible. Yeah, no, they authorized a slave Bible, but they didn't write nothing in the Bible. You get what I'm saying? So that's so your history that what black history is the Bible. That what black history is. Now, granted, a lot of our people took this history for granted because when you learn from something, when you learn from something, how you do it, you pass down the mistakes that you made and what you did do right. You pass both of them down so the next generation don't go back and make that same mistake, right?
Uh,
That's all the Bible is. A bevy of witness, good deeds, and witness accounts of what we messed up at, right? The only reason history class in your middle school and high school started off with you was in slavery. The reason why that even happened is because you didn't listen to the warnings that your ancestors gave you. They gave plenty of warnings. The Most High is real. The Most High is a terrible power if you piss him off. Nobody listened to those warnings because we were so busy back then, still following after other people's cultures, these heathen cultures, heathen beliefs, and all of that. We was fascinated with it because it's something we wasn't used to. And in the midst of that, the Most High God became a jealous God. And like, oh, you love him so much? I bet you won't like him if you were slaves. You know what I'm saying? And this happened a lot of times. Oh, you want to sleep with their women? Oh, you want to smoke weed? Oh, you want to smoke mushrooms? Uh,
God.
you wanna go hard on some tobacco? You know what I'm saying? All right. You know what I mean? Like you learned this from them. I'ma hand them to you, but you ain't gonna like what side of the fence you're gonna be on when you get there. Or you could just listen to your ancestors who I terrorized for doing the wrong thing, and the ones that did the right thing, I uplifted them. You could choose to be either or. You could be somebody that you all as a whole could be the ancestors that followed everything and lived a good life, a good long life, lived for hundreds of years at a time. Or y'all could take this route and I'm gonna shorten y'all lifespan by hundreds of years and y'all not finna live to see past 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's you get what I'm saying? Out the brother driving. And so yeah, you know what I'm saying? We could keep reading. I just want to throw that out there because a lot of people would just be like kind of weird about the matter. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't never think, oh, white supremacy wrote the Bible. Man wrote it, so I can't follow it. So why is it so many niggas following the Quran? As a matter of fact, I know a nigga I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna add him like that. I ain't gonna follow the Bible. I ain't gonna follow the Bible. Man wrote that. Why I gotta follow that? Now that nigga Muslim. And man wrote and the Muslim man wrote the Quran. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What makes it any different?
Couldn't tell you. Con. The word was inspired by the Most High. Now that you know the physical writing of the Bible did not necessarily come from the prophets, you now must understand how the word of the Lord came to men. Have you ever heard the saying, if everyone is in charge, then no one is in charge? I stated earlier, the Most High does not deal with everyone individually. Can you imagine if the Most High spoke to everyone and everyone was in charge? There would be mass confusion, and the Lord is not the author of confusion. Says First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. God. The U.S. military does not allow everyone to be in charge. There is a rank structure in the military. So why would you think any less of the Lord's structure for his people? All throughout the Bible, God chose a prophet to deal with directly, to raise his people up with to raise his people up. With that being said, the Lord does not deal with some Israelite men, and he chooses these men. Salaki. With that being said, the Lord does deal with some Israelite men, and he chooses these men to lead his people and speak his words. The Bible tells us the Most High told his prophets to write down the words he gave them, found in 2 Timothy 3, chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of the God and is profitable for for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. Isaiah was told to write what the Most High told him in a book. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8. Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
Exactly. That's it. So it could be remembered for a time to come and forever and ever. That's the whole purpose. The reason why is because how would the later generation know to follow God if they don't even know that God is to be followed? How can they even know there's a such thing as God if ain't nobody have records of them witnessing supernatural things that God showed and did? How can people believe in Christ if one nobody there to witness him die and literally come right back to life? The reason we even know that is because somebody witnessed it and wrote it down. It's record of it happening. He woke up and remember who he was, remembered everybody that he was associated with. He remembered everything when he woke up. You get what I'm saying? And from there, he went in and and performed one of the greatest miracles ever. He, and people don't look at it like this, but just think about it. The man died, came back to life, and still knew who his people was. still knew what people he used to serve. Because to whom much given, much required comes rank. You got to serve your people. And Christ is above all others. So you can only imagine how much he served. You get what I'm saying? Nobody ever looked at it like that, though. He died, came back, and still knew who his people was. Still knew I have to show these people that God power is undeniable. I literally died and came right back to my same people. I'm living proof that God is real. I performed all these miracles y'all didn't believe in. I got killed like a regular man and rose up, and that's something no other regular man did. And I still came back to the same people I've been trying to tell God is real. We need to follow these law, statutes, and commandments. Think about that. That's crazy. All right, keep reading.
Oh God. Another example is found in the book of Habakkuk.
Habakkuk.
Habakkuk. He was also told to write what the Most High showed him.
Mm-hmm.
Found in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain above upon the tables, that he may, that he may run that readeth it. If you do not believe the Bible, that is your choice. However, when you say you do not believe the Bible because it was written by man, you are lying to yourself, and your logic is not only flawed but elementary as well.
Right. So, with that being said, you can go ahead and hold that, and go on your sword. Go to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, start at verse 1. So, now that we got that part out the way, we're gonna learn. We're gonna start learning and reading from the history book. All right. All right. Go ahead and start reading when you ready, brother.
God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
It shall what?
It shall come to pass.
This right here is something that was shown to somebody many years ago. They wrote it down and they passed it along. All right. It shall come to pass. That means this is something that's going to happen. Right? Go ahead.
Oh God. If thou shalt hearken diligently.
If thou shalt what? Okay, the word hearken in the Bible literally means listen and listen with all subjection. No in one ear out the other is undivided attention. Diligently just means you should be locked in like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Okay.
to observe and to do all his commandments,
Mm-hmm.
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Okay, you hear that? He will set thee above all on high, above all the nations, right? On earth, right? Okay. At some point in time, we were. There was a period called the Dark Ages. At some point in time, black people ruled the entire Europe. We ruled the entire Europe. Think about that. And King James was around in that period, as a matter of fact. He was one of the people ruling in Europe. King James himself. During the Dark Ages, he was a black man that was ruling over other people, and there were other rulers that so happened they had been black. That's why they called it the Dark Ages. Not only the people that were ruling were dark, but white supremacy didn't have a say in nothing. At that around that time, all right, they didn't have nothing. That was at that time they was like secretly conspiring if we being realistic. Um, so yeah, all right. So he that's that he said that like it said that this was gonna happen. But This happened a few times. It's been a few times where we were up like Chuck, but every time where we disobeyed, he bring us right back down. He bring us right back down. You know what I'm saying? But it says he'll put us above all nations. This is something that said to happen. So right now, where we at? Our people as a whole, where we at right now? This is a question to you.
Where are we at?
As our nation, like where we at right now? We clearly ain't on the top, so where we at?
Oh, slide at the bottom.
We're on the bottom. We're on the bottom. We've been on the bottom for how long? Like over 500 years, roughly. All right. So even though, because you could call it like a pattern, when the Most High see that we getting it right, all right, y'all don't need to be at the bottom no more. I should put y'all back up, and y'all should stay up. Please stay up, even more this time. All right. So this is something that's actually finna happen again. This is something that already happened, but this something that's finna happen again. It's coming soon. This time it'll be a forever rulership, a forever us being on top when Christ get back. All right, go ahead.
Come. To observe and to do all his commandments,
Right.
which I command thee this day,
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
Done.
Thou,
No, I was just agreeing with the scriptures. Like you twice.
if thou shalt unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and
Blessed shall you be in the city.
uh, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Blessed shall that be in the city. Blessed shall that be in the field. Now there was examples of that, you know what I'm saying, in history because there was a time we actually were showing each other brotherhood, showing each other sisterhood. We knew who we supposed to hate. We supposed to hate our oppressor, right? We knew that. We had a lot of black owned cities. Like everybody heard of the famous Black Wall Street. That would be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Greenwood. You got the Durham's, Haiti, which was in North Carolina. Jackson Ward, which is in Richmond, Virginia. Sweet Auburn, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. Bronzeville in Chicago, Illinois. Black Bottom, or you could say Paradise Valley in Detroit, Michigan. U Street, Washington, D.C. Central Ave, Los Angeles, California. In all of these instances, we had brotherhood, sisterhood. We had the black dollar. We kept it in our own cities. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, a terrorist attack did happen on Black Wall Street. It did happen in other similar areas. Some died out the second we started joining hand in hand with these heathens. They just slowly withered out and broke up. It was another city that was just like Black Wall Street that you wouldn't even know was in Tennessee. You wouldn't even be able to recognize it as that no more. And it didn't make this list because them were one of the people, well, one of the cities that our people just failed at just keeping it strictly us. Bill Street. Yep, Bill Street. We were known for our country music, black owned everything. Bill Street itself. When we were just there this past Friday, you seen a lot of what's walking around there. A lot of devils, right? And think about if we would have stayed strong even after they did what they did to Black Wall Street, if we all just stayed strong, kept building those cities, kept building those cities, we would have took America, we would have took over the world by then already. We would have already had that huge taste of the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? We would have been a-okay. That's why they had to make an example out of Black Wall Street. That wasn't no regular bombing. They used military personnel to make an example. That's like how many steps above a regular law enforcement officer. That's like the high. That's like the highest level of security. You know what I'm saying? They had to do that because they was just that scared. They like, we don't hurry up, do something now. This is gonna happen everywhere, everywhere. And those say and that same stuff we used to read about, our people used to read about when we had them in slavery, and the real Bible that we kept away from them while we gave them the slave Bible. All of that is finna happen a lot sooner than what we had wanted to. That's what they were going through their head. So they had to do what they had to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That if we was all just following the Most High law, statutes, and commandments all the way down to a T, that actually would have never happened. I'm like, we would have to been doing something wrong for that to even be green light. You know what I'm saying?
Con,
I'm like, we know it. We got a good bit of us, our people. You know what I'm saying? Based on genetic trees, have been intermingling with devils and Asians and so on and so forth. Who all was over here that ain't supposed to be over here. We was intermingling with them. You know what I'm saying? You already know some niggas were just robbing other black people for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Lord requires for our entire nation to follow law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? We was in a it was in the perfect spot to do that because we just fresh out of slavery. We all should have that exact same equal amount of hatred for the white devil. We all should have the means to follow God, follow the law, statutes, commandments, break away from Christianity and all that. But around these at the same time, our own people took their brotherhood and sisterhood and worked together to build a Christian church. Still following the same doctrine that was given to you through slavery, post slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But this is in our history. Now it's embedded in the history. You know what I'm saying? The real history started back when Adam was the first brother to receive the truth. You know what I'm saying? We can count Eve as the first sister to receive it. You know what I'm saying? We count that. That's where our history started there. Like it was people there around there, but our history started with the first person I would the first person that got a hold of the law, statutes, and commandments. Because he was that Bailey, him being the first one to receive the truth, he was the first one to receive our said culture appointed by the Most High. That's where our history starts with. It never started with us being bombed to hell during Black Wall Street era. That was just a time we could have, put the biggest dent in America's, infrastructure.
right.
That was just one of those times we could have pulled it out. Now, granted, that bombing did scare everybody out. Then Martin Luther King came in and made it worse. All right. And so that right there, like that's why it's important that this brother read in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that's why every time we build cities in the early 1900s, the white men, of course, that's why he destroyed it. You gotta think, even back then, they had fear of this thing that they like. Today is it's more like oh, conspiracy theory. No, it's a real thing. It's called replacement theory. The replacement theory is the thought of black people assuming the same amount of power that white people have. That's how replacement theory is in a nutshell. If I just wanted to black white and just simplify it. You know what I'm saying? That's how replacement theory is. They already had a huge fear of replacement theory back then. That's why they made it a point to bomb our own people. Well, not bomb our own people, but bomb our people, yes. Well, yeah, they're my people. Yeah, my own people. They ain't bombed theirs. They bombed ours. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because the Most High still mad at us as a people. Okay, yeah, that's another no. Okay, They bombed it because they was upset. Now, the Lord could have fumbled their plan, could have destroyed their entire plan of destroying what we had going on in those cities. We got together, but we was all together, but we wasn't in the truth. We wasn't following law, statutes, and commandments. Around that time, niggas was still celebrating Christmas and all that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was still doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we had the means of doing the right thing, taking over and all that, but we did not have the truth and we was still far away from the most high God. You know what I'm saying? That's why the most high seen it okay to let that happen. Cause Lord, he made some supernatural stuff happen. He could have made it to where those bombs they drop are all duds. He could have did that. He could have put that spirit on one of them devils that made the dang weapons to forget to load it up with the explosive fuel in there. You know what I'm saying? But he did. All right, so keep reading.
Come. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy bounty,
Mm-hmm.
and the fruit of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and the fruit of thy cattle,
Con.
the increase of thy kind, and
Con.
the flocks of thy sheep.
Yeah.
Verse 5. Blessed shall thy be, so shall thy,
Let me get
verse
that
5.
with you.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. Blessed shall be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Yeah.
Verse
You hear that? Blessed how you be when you come in. And you'll still be blessed after you leave. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta come into the world already just at the mercy of your oppressors, at the mercy of Satan. You ain't gotta go out by way of police brutality. You know what I'm saying? You keep going.
Oh God, verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face.
Mm-hmm.
They shall come out against thee one way, and be and be
And
and
flee,
flee
come
before the 7 waves.
and flee before these 7 ways. You
Verse
get what I'm
8.
saying? It like you get what they're saying? And we were doing everything the Most High told us to do around this time where all this stuff was getting bombed and all that. If we was actually about lost statute commandments, they could have came at us and we could have retaliated back. The Lord would have gave us the green light, fight back, and we would have fought hard and they would have left. They would have ran by like 7 different ways. They would have got up out of there. They would have been terrified. You know what I'm saying? But we weren't following lost statute commandments, so we failed. So if we were failing around the time that those modern day weapons was, I can only imagine how gruesome we was being slaughtered when we was in other captivities previous before this one, and we weren't following lost that commandment. Getting beat to rise by death, tomahawks made from dang pig bone or something. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
What you mean? What you mean by their own so-called citizens just because they feared to grow? What you mean by that? What about the black city under Percy Priest? Yeah, it is a black city sitting under the Percy Priest. Yeah, it is. That is true. That is very true. You would consider that another what they call mishap and niggas getting together. Think Gary, Indiana, but like underwater instead of a power outage. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, 'cause why would they build a dam right there? Why would they build a dam right there where they collect so much water and always dump it out at any given moment? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Exactly. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna have you for time's sake. I'm gonna have you skip down. Dang, I wasn't able, but it was certain things I wanted to touch on, man. Dang, man. All right, skip to mm-hmm. Good dang, man. Try to see if I can still give y'all a good nub, but still with a little time given. All right. How about this? Go to drop down to Deuteronomy 28, and let's say yeah, let's drop down 28.
Verse 28.
Come.
Oh, God, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28.
All right, so yeah, no, it's like it. Well, what the brother finna read, what I had the brother pull, what he finna read. This is like me fast forwarding for time's sake. I'm saying y'all done got me out of class. I see how car y'all in the shop be feeling now. Yeah, y'all got me. But yeah, this is like the fast forward. So everything that we experience nowadays, it was said, it was already seen throughout history. You know what I'm saying? If you read our actual history book, which is a 1611 King James Bible, and you had a knowledge of what a scribe is, and I still botch that word and I hear it so many times something for stenographer. I keep botching that word. Stenographer. Right. So a stenographer, scribes in a stenographer, that's how you say it, stenographer, you know what I'm saying? They was there around the time the Lord showed one of the prophets everything that this brother finna read was literally finna happen. And the only reason it's finna happen is because you didn't take your history of the past mistakes our people made back then and learn from them. You only you you just took it and like, oh, that happened to them. It ain't gonna happen to me. Not even knowing that that was you. You just don't have no remembrance of that being you. All right, it didn't make sense. A lot of people don't really understand how reincarnation works. Well, in layman's terms, you get reborn through your own seed long later down the line. So if I make a mistake now and I don't clean up on it, and if I had a scribe sitting with me that tell my kids and later on down the generations that this is what I did wrong, this is what I could have did right, this is what I did right, don't do this wrong. That'd be all right. If I you know what I'm saying? If I follow it, but genetics, every as genetics go by, things get better. If I do everything right down to the T, and there are multiple witnesses of it, our stories will get passed down to our kids and passed down, boom, 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 and we'll be all right. We'll be exactly the way the Lord wanted us to be. All right. Now what the brother finna read, this is something that look, it was already said it was gonna happen, like literally like thousands of years before this happened. It said it was gonna happen. All right. So go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Right now we got brothers going crazy over a woman that cheated on them, and they finna go back and kill this woman. They finna go back and kill her because she committed whoredom on him, or he could choose to leave. Now, granted, there shouldn't be no whores counted amongst the nation of Israel. So back in biblical days, of course, you can be a whoredom, you gotta go. Granted. But the nature of what these brothers do now, that they get so mad, they kill her, then they go kill her big brother, then they go kill their mama, their daddy, they go back and kill the kids. Do you know how much of a madman you gotta be to kill a child? Or kill people that ain't got nothing to do with your messed up relationship? We got brothers out here overdosing on all drugs. They get so mad. They get so mad. They just want to go get super high. Then they get so high they out of here. It don't take a nigga who will kill somebody over a pair of shoes is not a perfectly sane man. You killed him because you wanted those J's on his feet. That is not no perfectly sane person. That's a madman. A blindness. You know what I'm saying? We got a spiritual blindness going on and the physical blindness. Some people just sin so bad they wake up in the next life are born blind. They just can't see. They go through life without seeing because of something that they did in their past life. You don't know how bad they had to be in the when Lord said, "All right, in your next life you ain't gonna be able to see."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got a spiritual blindness. Everybody sees the truth, but nobody sees the truth. Think about how many people roll past the school and never just come in here out of at least a hint of curiosity.
That's crazy.
Astonishment of heart. Right, like I was mentioning with the Mr. Beast. Like with any rapper, they in the hood, they going through all this crazy stuff. They doing bad stuff to people. They know they wrong finna catch up to them. They get blessed with a by Satan with a music deal, and they see all that money. They that astonishment of heart. And I said, this is my way out. They get the money and still gonna do the stuff to people. This time they go and pay for your life like 30 bands and get you killed for $30,000. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be like small stuff like that. Keep going.
Come, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt grope at noondays,
Mm.
as the blind gropeth in darkness,
Mm.
and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
You're gonna be so blind, you ain't even gonna, it ain't gonna be nothing you can cling to. Nothing. Nothing at all. Go ahead.
Come, and thou shalt be onely oppressed
Mm.
and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Nobody gonna save you. Not even the men of the Lord could be able to undo that. You know what I'm saying? The only person who will be able to do that's Christ. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be so. It said that stuff like this gonna be so bad. Right now, it's a brother down the street from here. He posts up at over the off Clarksville Pike, like down that way, like what Clarksville Pike is right by the Exxon or the 7-Eleven nowadays it is. And then you'll notice it's a brother. He got dreads. He just always outside. Everybody done tried their best to give him money. He refuses. Give him clothes. He refuses. He chooses to be homeless. People try to help this man in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? And he refuses it. Think about that. It's so bad, you're not even willing to save yourself. You know what I'm saying? That blindness. He don't know what's going on. He's looking for something. Try to grow, but he ain't growing nothing. He ain't he ain't finding whatever it is he's looking for. He looking for it so much he don't even want help. Can't nobody help this brother. And there's many people like that out here in the world. It is. Believe it or not, it's more than just him. They scattered all through Nashville. There's different brothers like that. It happens a lot. You had a question?
It's not if I could. I very when you read, but I wanted to share to read 32.
Yeah, that's what I'm working to right there. What I'm saying?
I'll keep on.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 30. Um, thou shalt betroth the wife,
You should lay down with the woman. You should make her your wife.
and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt.
It said another man should lie with her. You should make this woman your wife, but a whole nother man finna sleep with your woman. Y'all done sin so bad. I'm finna, y'all, man, y'all saying so bad. Y'all pulled away from the Most High so bad. If y'all ain't following no laws, how you gonna know that you know what I'm saying? How you gonna know that at some point in time another man finna sleep with your woman and you finna be real pissed off about it? But guess what? There's no law. You ain't following it. There's nothing stopping her from going and sleeping with multiple men. Talking about how, because women be saying this crazy term, they be like, I got hoes. How does a woman have hoes? You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens when you don't follow the law. When you ain't following the law, things like this becomes normal. People, how you just read, you were patrolling another man. You were patrolling another man. That niggas doing that too. You were patrol. Yeah, it says you a patrol wife, and another man gonna sleep with her. If people, how you just read that, and it is so normal nowadays. It's like you ain't even surprised. But just imagine how brothers back then, when they seeing this, like, oh snap, this finna happen to our people. Just think of how bad that sound. What I'm gonna sleep with a woman and another man gonna lay with her. What? Man, men bring that back then 1,000 years, nigga go crazy. Nigga like nigga be caught up working. I'm like, this nigga been there with got a whole nother woman. Like, ah man, she finna do something bad. I just know it. I just know she is. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Verse 31. Oh, Slocky. All right. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
You should build a house and you should dwell in it. Think about that. We built all these houses. Like let's talk about today's time, 2026. We got Hispanic brothers building hella houses. And guess what? They can't sleep in it because why? As soon as they done, give it a month or two. If not that same week, they're finna get deported. They can't even sleep in that same house they just built. Slaves built the White House and ain't no nigga sleeping in it. You get what I'm saying? Our people built all these houses from the gentrification of both Florida and Nashville and other parts of Tennessee and in different parts of the airport, right? Of Florida. Niggas built it, but ain't none of us sleeping in them. They was already said they was gonna have it in the Bible. Go ahead.
Calm. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
You gonna build a vineyard. And guess who finna get your grapes? Your oppressor. And they finna take it, stump it, or how you stump it rather. They gonna take it, age it, do whatever they gotta do, make wine out of it. And the same thing you did for virtually free, they're finna go back and charge you for it in the store. You planted it yourself. You stumped it yourself. They can come in, gather your crop, and say, "Oh, well, you on our land, even though this is your stuff. You gotta give that to us, or you can't do it no more. And once you give it to us, we're gonna sell it in the stores, and you finna have to buy your own product. I don't care how long your feet been in there. I don't care how bad your knees hurt from all that stump. You're not getting your own grapes, at least not for free." It's sick. But the Lord said that these things are finna happen if we didn't follow the laws. Remember, we didn't hearken unto the voice of the Lord our God. There were prophets back then. Christ and them were actively prophesying back then, and this did not take a lot of brothers and sisters did not take heed to that. They didn't think about that. Now they had to do is follow Christ. All right, so skip down to 32.
Calm. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What's an example of that? ICE. Translated slave trade, chattel slavery. West Indies, the so-called Jamaicans and Trinidadians, those are West Indians. If people don't know, those West Indians, they got out of all people. Look who they oppressed was the red dot people, the ring a ding ding ding. Do you know how horrible they got to be having them for an oppressor? They don't believe in showers. They don't believe. Go ahead.
Like, uh, what I saw when I first read the scripture
Yeah,
was capitalism.
capitalism.
Like that's an easy one right there. Like your kids, because of how again what
Yeah.
28 says, "Well, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart."
Mm-hmm.
Our hearts are astonished. So
Yep.
we're no longer saying, "Yeah, kids stay at home, let's go home."
Right.
We're sending them out into the world and saying, "Nah, you 18, you can take care of yourself. I've been waiting for this day. Get out my hair."
Yeah.
All this good stuff.
Yeah.
The whole time you sending them into the belly of the beast.
Exactly.
This is an 18-year-old child,
Right.
not an 18-year-old adult,
Right.
not a young adult. It's
Right.
an old kid. You feel me?
Right.
And you're literally sending them either to college, the military, or to go get a job, and you'll probably never see them
You won't.
in the same capacity ever again. And when you do see them, they're gonna be scarred by life for the rest of their life
Mm-hmm.
because of what they had to go through in the world to simply survive.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways you could look at it from. Like what the brother's saying is very true. And a lot of people don't even know 18 and 19-year-olds are biblically off limits if you're an adult. You're not considered an adult until you're 20 years old. Back, you know what I'm saying? Like in biblical days, you weren't able to go to war unless you were 20 years old. You had to be at least a scorer. A score is 20 years, by the way, in the Bible. It's 20 years. You had to be at least a scorer. But the white man such a devil. He know that you ain't grown till you're 20, but he said the legal age of consent is 18. And and then they tell you, well, for as long as it's not over 4 years, right there, as long as it's not over 4 years. So you mean to tell me you could be 17 and you could date, let's say, look at 4 years. Yeah, you can go back and date a 13-year-old, brother. You could be 21 and date a child as long as it ain't past 4 years, based off America's laws on statutory. And that's before trans age came in and minor preferring came in. Go ahead.
Major child sex ring that's going on in the country that much bigger. That's why, you know, the white man is the devil. Right? They run all these different institutions, all these clubs, all these bars, all these things. Why is it that you can get into a club at 18? You get me? But then and it's never just 18-year-olds that are getting in as 18.
Right.
It's 15, 16, 12.
Man, let me tell y'all a story.
Man, I'm like, 18.
Let me tell y'all a story, man. Oh my gosh, I remember my rib was she was 20. She was 20 years old. I tried to take her to the club because I know Nashville be all right with that. They kept denying her because I had my rib dress. She was dressed modest, like covered up, beautiful dress and all that. And like some girls you could tell wasn't fully developed. They have dressed and they didn't even ID them. They walked right past us, got in that club. And what you think those girls were doing in those club bathrooms? Those underage girls.
Everything. Everything. Everything on whole week.
I done seen women that's older than my real, cause my real 22 now. But I seen women older than my real get denied in the club because they don't fit their club policy. They're not gonna say that, but you gotta dress very high. You gotta look young, and then most of the time, most of these cases, like when we went, the bouncer was a Caucasian man. Then you could tell take a liking towards like black women and stuff. This does happen. Yes, I was mad. Me and my real was spent like an hour and a half trying to get in the club, and we all of them turned us down. While all the little young things half dressed kept getting in, no ID or nothing. My rib at least bought her ID, and she was fully dressed. Why she can't get in?
She don't look the part.
Exactly, and she ain't young. She ain't some that like still developing. She's fully developed.
That's crazy.
All right, go ahead, keep reading. That's crazy.
uh, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day.
You hear that? Yeah, I hear that. That like what like when you hear about the victims from ICE that's witnessed their parents get deported or the people who had their kids deported and they still here working, you when you actually hear them talk, because a lot of people don't see them videos, they don't go viral. So when you see them, you got to really watch it and pay attention because you're not going to see it again. Because sometimes they don't let you download them, and you'll hear them talk about how they still try to find a way to get in contact with their kids. They in the detention center. They don't know which one because there's multiple ICE detention centers, and they don't know. First, they already don't know what detention they in. They can't contact them. Well, a lot of these Hispanic brothers and sisters, these Haitian brothers and sisters, them young ones, like they getting fondled with, touched on in there. It's a law. It's ain't it like a 3-digit number right now and counting? How many underage Hispanic sisters in the ICE detention centers done came up pregnant since Trump just made this huge green light on moving on the Mexicans and getting the criminals out. You know what I'm saying? It's false ideology. Trail of Tears, that's another one. Trail of Tears, yeah, that's another one for sure. I like that. I like y'all brothers right here. Y'all make me so happy. Y'all be so involved. All right, keep reading.
Come, come. And fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there should be no might in your hand. When ICE pull up to separate you from your kids, they pulling up with rifles. You are such a law-abiding citizen. You don't even got a gun. It's lawful for you to have a gun, but you such an upstanding American citizen. You ain't got one, and you ain't got no power to defend your family from getting broken up. It was said that this was gonna happen, and it was even happening when we were getting sold. Right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 9.
Who? You doing that? Go ahead. Yeah, I'm turning like that.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel.
Behold, the people of children of Israel, black, Latino, Native Americans today. Go ahead.
Come, are more and mightier than we.
Are what?
More and mightier than we.
Not less and weaker.
More and mightier than we.
More and mighty.
Come.
Go ahead.
Come.
Go ahead, young.
Come. Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them. This is also part of your history. You used slavery back in Egypt. This is part of your history.
Mhm.
What is it?
Let us deal wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them, but these people they stronger. It's a lot more than the numbers. I mean, like, you gotta be careful. We can't just like even better eye away from them. You turn away from them. They might even kill one of us. They might have two more babies on us. Quick. Go ahead.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass
Mhm.
that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
They fall out to the war. They join off to the enemy. They was already paranoid. Same way your person today is paranoid. That's why they try to make you draft mentor. They try to force you. They try to deal wild with you. Force you to fight for their military, or you get jail time. First of all, that shouldn't even be an option. Because who said y'all gonna win? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying the same way that your oppressors today think they was thinking in many years down our history with our previous oppressor. That's already thing they did widely. You know what I'm saying? And if you read further, it's actually I'm gonna have a whole class about abortion. This actually, if you keep reading down, this actually like cuts off to the abortion class that I wanted to do next week. I was gonna do the history of Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? And proving that Planned Parenthood and abortion is part of Egyptian culture, Christian culture, Ku Klux Klan of Christians, yada yada yada. We already got that part out the way. So obviously we was gonna go through that whole thing. So be tuned for next week. Lord allow y'all don't kill my class. Cause like, cause like what we read, everything we read in Deuteronomy, we wasn't supposed to just cut through like that. The whole Deuteronomy 28th chapter is literally an entire breakdown of knowing where your history started at and where it's at now. The entire Deuteronomy 28th chapter is supposed to be that. You know what I'm saying? And it happens to the best of us. If y'all have good questions, if y'all have any questions, even if they ain't related, I'm still gonna answer them. I'm still gonna answer them. But God, God, you know what I'm saying? All right. And so with that event, if don't nobody have any questions, because if y'all have any questions unrelated to this, I even heard you can answer them. But if y'all don't have any questions, I can, what I'm saying, in the class on that. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, he said Dreadhead brother. Okay, we whoa, hold on, whoa. What about the Black City under Percy Breeze? They went to war with their own so-called citizens just because they feared the growth. When you was talking about the bombing, okay. Well, when you say they citizens, do you mean like the black people? Because if you, well, everything we know now, if that's what you're referring to, you should make a clear separation, just as clear as Romans 9:13, where the scripture said, "For Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated." The Lord made a clear separation. So in today's time, your oppressor who run America and who done flooded that city, that black city under Percy Priest, that done bombed Black Wall Street and done took over everything else that we done had, that would be Esau. That would be the thing that the Most High hate, the person the Most High hate. You would be considered Jacob. So when you say citizens, like you are referring to black people, right? No, I'm trying to figure out. Now I know this brother, you work pretty early. I'm trying to get up out of here, bro. I know you work pretty early. That brother look like me when I used to work at Coca-Cola. Trust me, you just don't understand. I I used to be sitting right there in this front seat, right, like right there, but like right there. And I have shades on, and brothers used to notice I was sleeping. It was like, where your brother at? You know what I'm saying? It was like, wake your brother up, let him hear this truth. I'm saying,
Sleeping my clown, man.
I ain't gonna clown you, trust me. I went to sleep writing notes one time. Yeah, I wonder if I still got that notebook. I got three of them in my crib that I came into to the school with as a young man. One of them I know I probably got like the little part where I took notes and then that little gap. And so the precepts ain't always lying and stuff like that. So I gotta go back and watch those classes and fill that gap in and stuff like that. Man, cause yeah. So
So, slave,
he could still be driving.
slave in the gym.
As a matter of fact, brother, text my phone, you know what I'm saying? I can't be running too long. You see, I ain't no general. I can't have 3 hour classes. All right. So with that, we are the ISUBK star out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Tonight is Monday Night History, and it will be on top of Priest Officer 50 Bashwan out of Nashville School. And yeah, shalom. All right.